Hey guys, welcome back. I missed last night's upload because I was at my friend's house, so yeah, I'll be going back to normal schedule every night, hopefully. Anyways, yes, Mariah is doing well too. That's none of your business. Thank you. Huh? Well, I have to look at my schedule. Rosa was talking to Rudolph over the phone. Rosa rarely received calls from her older siblings, so she braced herself for something serious. Well, truth is, I want to have a little talk about the next family conference without Anarchy. Between you and me and Eva Nissan, sounds like a headache. I can't go into details over the phone, but I think you'll find this worth listening to. Something good? Of course. Anarchy's all for it. Nissan is. All we want is your approval. We aren't going to ask you for money or anything like that. The most important thing is that the three of us stick together. Got it? Rosa let out a sigh. She did so because in the past, when Rudolph and Eva got into a fight with Cross, they always used to talk to her like this was right before dragging her into it. First, tell me, I stand to gain something too, yes? Yep. The three of us will grab 200 million out of this. If all goes well, we might be able to squeeze out more. That should be enough to handle your debt, right? And when we can expect to grab this by, of course, it will be within a year. I need it, and Nikki needs it, and you need it too, Rosa. All three of our problems will be settled, so the chances of success are good enough that Nissan's agreed to it. Now, do you want to hear? I know it's a bit sudden, but let's be next Sunday, 19 o'clock at the coffee shop you like in Ginza. That's the only time Nikki's schedule and mine match. Any problems? If we're talking about 200 million, I'll have no choice but to listen. Then let's meet at 7 p.m. next Sunday at Leopold's. And Mariah Chen, you could bring her too if you want. Don't talk about money in front of that child. She set the receiver down with a clunk a little violently. Apparently either Eva or Rudolph had got on hold of one of Cross's weak points. They would probably threaten him with that at the next family conference to force him to pay up. Even before hearing details, she knew full well that it would be nothing good. But even so, this might be her once-in-a-lifetime chance to pay back her large debts. Rosa took a notebook out of her handbag and started to mark the day she'd be meeting with Rudolph and Eva. Then she frowned and smacked herself hard in the forehead, because written there was DZL with Mariah, something she had planned to do with her daughter. Mariah was in her room playing around excitedly with Sakutaro and the others. That was because she was going to go to that recently built amusement park, Disneyland, the following Sunday. Looking at the clock, Rosa saw that it was just past 9 o'clock at night. Mariah was breaking the lights out rule. After covering her face and agonizing for a while, Rosa stood up and stomped over to Mariah's room. My room would probably be a mess as well. At least at night, that was convenient. As she stood outside the door to Mariah's room, listening to the happy laughter seeping through, Rosa's face twisted in anguish once again, and she looked at the floor. Then, when she raised her head again, her brow was furrowed, and her face had become an ugly expression of anger. Okay. The weather wasn't that great. According to the weekend forecast, a certain tropical cyclone would likely grow into a large typhoon. If unhappy premonitions tend to be right, this year's family conference will probably take place in absolute horrible weather. No, I wish a typhoon large enough to stop all boat travel would seal Rokenjima away forever. If that happened, I'd be able to hide Kinzo's death as long as I wanted to. If only the typhoon would keep them at bay forever. Natsuki let out a deep sigh. Just doing that made her headache throb. As the day of the family conference approached, the intensity of her headache just kept on increasing. After that time, the phone rang. Natsuki turned the TV off and picked up the receiver. Hello? I apologize for calling during your rest. It is Genji. Something the matter? There was a phone call for you from the external line. However, they will not state their name. They aren't saying their name? Yes, the person in question said you would know him when you spoke with them. What should be done? Might be a prank. What did they sound like? I believe it was a young man. Any idea who it might be? A young man? Natsui didn't have a clue who that might be. In the first place, there was no one amongst her acquaintances who would do something as rude as refusing to state their name. And on top of that, young man, as a wife, she must avoid any contact that might be considered suspicious with anyone other than her husband, much less a young man. As soon as she thought this, the phone call suddenly seemed like something dirty. But despite that, she also wanted to know what they wanted to tell her. Could it be some kind of trouble related to Cross's business? What if there was some particular reason they needed to talk to Cross's wife instead of Cross directly? No matter what it is, it's my duty as a wife to listen and report to Cross. If it's a bizarre threat, I just have to firmly refuse and inform Cross they received such a phone call. If it's something offensive, I just have to tell Genji and never send me anonymous calls again. As Natsu just thought this, just Genji suggested they hang up on the man as he thought that's what she naturally choose. She told him to connect her to the person. She then set the receiver down. After a short while, the phone rang again. Hello? This wasn't the internal line. It was the external phone line which Genji had redirected to her, so it should already been connected directly with the mysterious man. However, the person on the other end didn't respond, not liking this at all, unless he spoke one more time, sounding displeased. Hello? Who is this? Tell me your name. She heard something that sounded like a sigh. She gulped reflexively. After remaining silent for a little longer, the man finally answered. It's been a long time, huh? That was the first time the man had spoken. Just how long has it been? How many years? What are you talking about? Who are you? The voice certainly did sound like a young man's, but it's hard to learn much about someone just by their voice over the phone. It sounded like a young man, but it might actually be a middle school-aged boy or a man in his prime who still had a youngish voice. No, wait, it might be too soon to be sure this is even a male. However, one thing was certain. Natsuki could think of no one who would speak to her in an overly familiar manner like this. It'd be easier for me to tell you my name, but that would make me very sad. I don't know what you're talking about. Who are you, and what business do you have with me? If you can't tell me that, I'm not interested. I'm hanging up. What I want is for you to remember. And what is that you're telling me to remember? I don't know you, so I don't have nothing to remember. Please do not say that. I am your child, am I not? What did you say? What are you talking about? Do not say things that will make me so sad, Mother. That unsettling word thrust itself mercilessly into the depths of Natsuki's heart. It started churning it about. In her entire life, Natsuki had never been told something so unsettling. In her bewilderment, Natsuki felt her heart beat so loudly that it felt like it would explode. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what you're planning, but I'm hanging up. I came back for revenge. Revenge for your crime of 19 years ago. Natsuki's mind went blank, and from beyond the wind, howling outside the window, she most certainly heard the roar of the sea from that day. So, you actually do remember, do you not? I told you I don't know what you're talking about. And I will never call here again. I've not forgotten how you treated me 19 years ago. To curse you, I still call you Mother despite that. No, because of that. The family conference will be here very soon, right? I am your son, Mother. I will come on the day of the conference, after 19 years, so that I can have my revenge on you. Click. Breathing so hard her shoulders heaved, Natsuki slammed the receiver down and hung up. Then she hit the phone violently, knocking the receiver off, so that no more calls would come through it. I could hear the roar of the sea. The howling wind is certainly out. Even if I cover my ears, the headache won't. Completely pale, Natsuki kept shivering and so cold. Lambda, are you there? Yes, I'm here. I am anywhere you want me to be, Burn. Then crawl into the cupboard under the kitchen floor, or in a jar of rice bran paste if you like. Oh, you're gonna get me in bean dip paste to bite into me? But then I'd rather you dip me in honey, and in return I'll cook you in sugar water. At least make it sweet soy sauce with sweet sake. So what's up? You gonna make me repeat something? That's right. Is Lucy's phone conversation here real? Then the Delta grinned unpleasantly as though Suzy broke his soul up. She was probably trying to tease Burn for making that demand. You refuse to repeat it. Well now, should I refuse or should I respond? As the game master, it's up to me to decide, and I get to make that decision anytime I want. Unless I state it in blue, you aren't obligated to respond. That's it. Hee hee. For now, you're stuck wondering about Natsuki's secret of 19 years ago, okay? Make sure you're sitting on the edge of your seat. Hee hee. Of course, this fishy telephone call happened before October 4th, 1986. This is still before the start of the game, so there's basically no need to question whether it's true or false. Says you, the game master, went out of your way to show me this. I'll take it as a preparatory move for something else. It might be a trick, but at least I'll keep the smooth of yours in my memory. Hehehehe. So you'll leave without turning the card over. Ouch, what? direct attack. After suddenly being conked on the head, Lambda Delta was bewildered. But perhaps this incomprehensible exchange was funny to her because she quickly went back to giggling. Are you done preparing the game board now? Yeah, that's right. Now I'll finally move on to the game. Until October 4th, 1986. I wonder what number October 4th, 1986 this is. The Endless Witch, huh? Beatrice. She truly is a frightening child. Any moves from your side yet, Burn? No. If you refuse to repeat what I've asked, then I'm done. Turn end, right? Untap, unkeep, draw. Come. October 4th, 1986. The first day, October 4th, 1986. Okay, guys, how about take a breather here? Maybe blow my nose or something. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, back. The Rose Garden really is a masterpiece. It's gotten even more awesome than it was 6 years ago. You're so lucky to have this as your yard. Are you kidding? For me, it just makes it a longer walk to the harbor, and that's a real pain. That's a pretty luxurious worry. Ooh, getting to say hi to the roses every morning must be awesome. You must get laid after saying hi to so many roses. Shame about Inge, though. I heard her stomach gets upset easily, right? Apparently, it's probably her intestines that are weak. She's almost always got the runs. Ooh, you shouldn't say something like that about a lady. Sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot nothing comes out of girls' but marshmallows, right? So Ange got sick and the marshmallows turned into syrup. Okay, that's really way over the line. George just got slammed the knee in her face right to either side of Butler's gut. Whack smack through. That smack though was probably the sound made when his knees hit the ground as he fell over. Normally, Butler possessed a good sense you'd expect of an 18-year-old man. However, it seemed that this reunion had brought him back to the mental age he'd been 6 years ago, and bit by bit, Jessica and George realized that they were also returning to the way they had been back then. Natsuhi gazed at this charming chap through an open window in the hall. Madame, cross-eyed searching for you. I'll go in just a bit. It isn't every lunchtime yet, and I'm already tired. Just a few moments ago, the sparks had already been starting flying between them and Eva's group. The others had patterned on cross on Natsuhi over to get Kenzo out of its study. Apparently, they hadn't been fully tricked at this year's family conference at all. There are no problems with father, right? Correct. Leave it to me. Shannon and Kennen are also fully prepared to handle today's arrangements. Kumasawa is a good liar, so I'm not worried about her, but I am a little concerned about Dr. Nanjo. I get the feeling he's bad at hiding things. Leave that to me. I intend to support Dr. Nanjo from nearby as much as possible. It's so reassuring to have you there. It truly does help a lot. Without your strength, we wouldn't be able to succeed. I am honored by your words. Don't worry, the closed room barrier on the study is perfect. As long as the barrier remains unbroken, no one will be able to expose Kenzo's secret. Yes, I understand. Still, you heard that conversation in the parlor just now, didn't you? Indeed, it seems that some considerable suspicions were aroused last year. The terrible toxin has accumulated and is being spread all around. It seems that this year's conference really will be crucial. We might be able to overcome this year somehow, but there is such a thing as pushing our luck. It's probably best to assume that next year won't be manageable. With this much of that magic-resistant toxin flooding up the place, it will probably be difficult to preserve Lord Ghostman's magic for yet another family conference. Who are you? Oh, no need to be surprised. This man serves as my head furniture. Greetings, Madame Natsuhi. My name is Ronov. It is a pleasure to meet you. This man is reliable. He's also helping to protect the closed room barrier. Is that so? I am Ushirmiya Natsuhi. Thank you for your cooperation. Of course, Madame. I will be aiding you from the magic world. Please rely on me. In that case, I guess I'll introduce myself next. Hi, Riche? Riche. I'm gonna say Riche. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but Riche. Long time no see. Gap. I'm glad to see you're here as well. Well, I only came to have some fun. If you need an extra hand, let me know. Nice to meet you, madame. This is the first time I've said hello, but I'm always right by anyone's side. Poo coo coo. Gap is here, like the prankster. Remember that headache medicine you jumped on the floor of your room whilst you were getting dressed? Gap was the one behind that. Whenever he says to small down someone but can't find him later, it's always a good idea to suspect that's one of her pranks. Long ago, she used to tease me all the time. Is that so? In any event, this is the Ushamiya Mansion. As long as you are here, you obey us. You understand, correct? Of course, we understand. Think of me as Genji of the magic world, and give me orders whenever you wish. And even I know how a guest is supposed to act. I won't let the landlord lose face. You can count on Runover and Gap. However, the magic world and the human world are two different sides of the same coin. I understand. Of course, I will do all I can in the human world. Let's work together and protect Father's secret. Indeed. This happens every time. Looks like we won't get anywhere until the next day. Well, sure. October 4th is like a prep term for me. If you don't feel like doing anything, why don't you just sit around until October 5th? I'll call you after the first 6 die. Hee. Of course, that was an incredibly irritating way to put it. The fight won't start until the crime occurs. However, waiting for the crime scene to start would mean turning a blind eye towards the murders by the first twilight. In other words, it would be the same as being content with the fact that 6 people would die. Did you know? They say that in chess, the player who moves first is twice as likely to win. Although that could change as the tactics of the match progress. Don't they say the second player has much as better chance at the draw? Even I know that phrase, the first to strike wins. So what are you trying to say? This is why you're so incompetent. Seriously, are you listening, Battler? There do exist puzzles that can be solved even on October 4th. Know which one I mean? You don't mean, no, but... Well, watch you see, Battler, they're incompetent. I have a general idea what these witches are talking about. I've tried solving them several times myself in the past, but I still haven't found anything resembling an answer. On the contrary, I still can't even understand why the puzzle exists. That's right. The reason it exists... Why did Beato prepare a puzzle like this in the first place? We'll discuss it together from time to time in past games. However, I've started to avoid thinking about it, under the assumption that there's no point in trying to solve a riddle that can't be solved. This time I should change my viewpoint. I shouldn't just focus on the surface level stuff, like the truth of the riddle and how to solve it. What's more important is why that riddle was set up in the first place and displayed for us to see. That's what I should be thinking about. And the one proposing that riddle is Beatrice. Even if I can't solve it, I should be able to try and figure out what Beato was thinking when she showed it to us. Okay, this time I'm spinning the chessboard around. They would just keep calling me incompetent. Let them laugh. They aren't my enemies. But I'm continuing our match, Beato. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to take another few minute break here. Give me a drink of apple juice. Okay, guys. There's probably going to be more breaks throughout this, more than normal. You know, I haven't really been eating too healthy lately, and I'm having trouble breathing and talking for too long. So, yeah, so there's going to be a few more breaks here and there, but other than that, it'll be, normal video. Okay, let's go on. Oh, looks like it's finally started raining. Dang, wish the only downpour was the one inside my heart. The people in the parlor noticed the raindrops that was starting to drip down the window. Now we have nowhere to run until the family conference ends. The same goes for Nissan. I won't let them escape, you can be sure of that. The cards we're holding aren't bad. Nissan's just bluffing. I'll make certain he surrenders. Well, there's more to a deal than making your opponent lose. You gotta get a pitfall ready, praise them a bit, and convince them to stand on it of their own accord. Hideyoshi-san's right. Repressed them a bit too hard last time, Eva Nissan. That was perfectly reasonable considering it was Nissan we're dealing with. Looks like Rose is falling asleep. She was complaining about how early she woke up this morning. Well, I guess there's nothing wrong with taking a nap. There's a chance we might be forced to spend all night on this. Getting a nap in now is probably a smart idea out of consideration for Rosa, who'd fallen asleep on the sofa. The others quietly left the parlor. Unaware of this, Rosa slept. After telling Mariah to stay where she was after the tension over not being able to find her Rose, Rosa slept unaware that the rain had started to fall. The rain poured down as though it had been saving up for this moment. Of course, Mariah noticed that the rain had started falling and was soaking to her bone. However, that just made her even more stubborn. Unable to find the poor, slightly unhealthy Rosa she herself had marked, she just couldn't stand having that search be interrupted by something like the rain. So the more the rain fell on Mariah, the more stubborn she grew, as she wandered through the rose beds. As she did, from behind Mariah's back came a patter-patter, the sound of approaching footsteps. The footsteps landed in the puddle, making a splashing sound around Mariah finally heard. However, even the slightest destruction of that sound irritated her, and Mariah ignored it. Hello. Mariah turned around bewildered. After all, that voice was one she didn't recognize at all. Unless sealed off for Kojima, that voice belonged to no person she knew. Cross-Sama, Madame. I was looking for you. Something important has came up. Cross and Natsui had been privately discussing what should be done in the next and deserted corridor on the third floor. Genji had searched everywhere for them. What is it? It must be something more urgent than a few sheets getting soaked in the rain. What is it? Has some sort of blunder been made? A short while ago, someone arrived at the mansion claiming they had been drifted here after an accident at sea. Cross and Natsui couldn't help but go wide-eyed and stare at each other. This was the first time they'd ever heard of someone coming to this island uninvited. Someone drifted here. Is that true? The poor thing. Treat this person politely like a guest. What are they doing now? Dr. Nunge is performing an examination. He isn't finished yet, but from what I could tell by looking at the drifter, seemed tired but uninjured. Thank goodness. Sui and I are having an important conversation right now. Once over, we will go check out this person. Please tell this drifter that we want them to feel at home. Certainly. When Genji bowed deeply and started to leave, Natsui called him to a stop. Genji stopped walking and Natsui jogged up to him. Genji, is this drifter a man? No. She is a young woman about the same age as Milady. A woman? I see. Very well. Back to your work. The parlor that I mentioned was bustling. The adults gathered worrying about the health of this sudden guest. Well, if she was able to walk all the way to the rose garden by herself, her life probably isn't in danger. It always helps to be prepared. It's probably all thanks to the life jacket. Without that, she might have drowned. What kind of girl was she? Older or younger than George or Jessica? She was younger than Jessica. She wore a life jacket swimsuit. It looked like she was all tired out. If she washed up somewhere near the harbor, that must have been a rare bit of luck amid disaster. It would have been terrible if she landed on the opposite side of the island. Still, you have to feel sorry for her. So with this weather, the boats would be coming. I imagine she'll be also stuck on this land all day tomorrow. At that moment, the door clunked open and everyone looked in the direction. Would anyone like some tea? It was Goda and Cannon, with the latter pushed to the serving cart laid and the tea sack. Goda understood well that doing a little extra at times like this would earn him points. The relatives hungry for more information crowded around Goda. He ordered Cannon to serve the tea and became the sole object of the relatives' attention. Goda-san, how's that kid doing? Does it look like she's okay? Well, I don't know about that, but there is no need to worry. Dr. Nacho is giving his full attention to taking care of her, and Kumasawa and Shannon are with him. Please have no fears. Why not relax with some black tea for now? Come, Cannon-san. Quickly, serve it. Cannon knew this tea was just Goda's way of earning points, so he lined up cups with a slightly sullen air. Ooh, I'll help too. It's okay. You could just wait there, Mariah-sama. Ooh, I want to serve tea too. Didn't you talk with Dr. Nancho? Did he say anything? Yes, when I met him a short while ago, he said that there weren't any serious external wounds, from what I could tell at a glance. And just as Goda successfully captured the cases of all present, and was just about to start talking knowledgeably on the subject, Nancho returned. Of course, Nancho instantly became the center of attention. Cannon turned his back on Goda, who seemed to be downhearted. Dr. Nancho, how is her condition? Does it look like she'll be okay? Not to worry, everyone. She is fine. She had no injuries at all. She seems to be quite worn out, but there shouldn't be anything to worry about tonight as long as she doesn't develop a fever. That's good to hear. We're lucky enough to have a doctor, but this is no hospital. Everyone was relieved to hear that the girl was in good health. When Nigel gave the more detailed results of his examination, concluding by saying that she was young and should therefore be fine, everyone who no longer fell under this description nodded in assent. Ooh, both really are scary. Fall. Battler was right. Mariah-chan must have told Battler about this. Oh, Madame Cross-sama, Goda, who had lost his nerve and was hanging out cups, called out in an excessively loud voice. Apparently, he was that desperate to gain one's attention. How is the guest? Yes, sir. Your condition is not serious. I see, that's great. Where is she now? I believe Kumasawa and Shannon were guiding her to the bath. They said they would get her some clothes afterwards. In that case, they'll probably arrive here soon. Everyone, they may be the day of the family conference, but they have a guest right here by an unfortunate accident. She wasn't invited, but I want you to all welcome her. Who could disagree with that? I'm all for it. Same here. Didn't Mom always tell us to be nice to girls? Maybe, but you didn't need to make that your life's motto. It's probably best if you call George and the rest over here too. Let's all greet her together. But wouldn't that just make her more uncomfortable? Eva stood up and made a phone call to the guest house. At that moment, they heard the sound of a knock below by Genji's voice. It is Genji, the guest had arrived. At those words, everyone fell silent. The people who had been sitting stood up straight. Genji came in first, opening the door slowly, then moved up to the side, bowing deeply and urging the guests forward. Hello. The guest and Shannon and Kumasawa following by her side. Even after seeing the large number of relatives waiting for her in the parlor, she didn't seem overawed in the slightest. She looks evil. Just a single point showed that this girl possessed a dignity appropriate for a guest invited in by the Ushimiya family. Furudo-sama, allow me to introduce you. This is a representative of the Ushimiya family head, Ushimiya Cross. Wait, no, that's Furude, not Furudo. I don't know. I was thinking about Rika for a second, but is that the same last name? I don't think so. Anyway, welcome to Hokanjima. Though you arrived due to an accident, you are a guest of the family. We welcome you. Please make yourself at home and relax however you please. Thank you very much. Allow me to introduce myself. I am called Furudo Erika. Okay. My deepest apologies for disturbing you, members of the Ushimiya family, like this. I'm truly grateful for the warm welcome I received despite my status as an uninvited guest. This was greeted by an impressed sigh arising equally from one corner of the room. The clothes she had been lent were probably Jessica's formal wear from long ago, but the composure of her introduction didn't shame those clothes in the slightest. The girl's name was Furudo Erika. She looked slightly younger than Battler and Jessica, but her composure and mannerisms were beyond what anyone would have expected from a high schooler, almost as though she was a well-to-do family's daughter. Wait a sec. Who the heck is this? With an incompetent like you as the main character piece, the game wouldn't go anywhere. That's why I placed myself there as a piece. Well, it's just a bit of a bonus. Even in a closed circle, it'd get boring to see the same crew every single time, right? Quit messing around. This is a piece that doesn't exist on Bito's game board. Bito and I won't acknowledge it. This is Bito's game board, right? If Bito refuses, then I'll consider it. What do you say, Bito? Bito is unable to answer. Lambda Delta grins triumphantly. When Jack complained about the rules of stepping down from the game, isn't that a favorite move of you mystery people? If there's even a tiny element that goes against your expectations, you throw a tantrum until we stop thinking. Don't worry, I'll make a detective proclamation regarding this piece. A detective proclamation. I proclaim that Furudo Erika is the detective. The detective isn't a culprit. No proof is needed to show this. In short, there's absolutely no need to suspect this girl, even if she appears as a human piece from now on. You can build theories the same as you always did, get it? That's Knox's seventh, right? It is forbidden for the detective to be the culprit. There was an exception clause in the original, but for this game, the detective isn't a culprit. It has been proclaimed in red, so don't need to consider the exception. I hate working associated this in red too. Furuto Erica is not the culprit. Repeat it. Furuto Erica has no influence on any of Bito's games before now. Sure, no problem. Furuto Erica had no influence on any of Bito's games before now. She's nothing more than an extra character who appears for the first time this round. She does not exist in the world before this, nor does she influence them. So what does this do to the number of people on the island right now? Of course, it's plus 1 from the previous number, but don't worry, Furuto Erica only increases it by 1 person. Besides her, the number of people on this island is exactly the same as it was in the previous games. At that time, the sound of the people dashing down the corridor could be heard. It was Battler, George, and Jessica who had come from the guest house after being called here by Eva. They immediately spotted a guest they didn't recognize, and their eyes went wide. Whoa, who are you? Ooh, a guest. She came by falling. Huh? Fall. Genji-san, who is this person? This is a guest, Furuto Erika-sama. Furuto-sama, this is the daughter of the family, Jessica-sama, along with her cousins, George-sama and Battler-sama. Nice to meet you. I'm Ushiramiya Jessica. Hello, my name is Furuto Erica. I am very pleased to meet you. Though Battler, George, and Jessica didn't have a clue who was going on, were utterly bewildered because they each introduced themselves. It's not the convenience. This way, the number of people is clear. The people in the guest house have joined up with the rest, and now all the pieces except for Kenzo, all of the humans have gathered in the parlor. Looks like it. In other words, the number of people in this parlor are now equal to the total number of people on this island. There are supposedly 18 people on the island, but since grandfather is actually dead, that became 17, and now 1 piece of brick cells has been added. The number of humans on this island has returned to 18. I glanced around at the humans in the parlor. The guest Furuto Erica, and behind her, Kumasawa-san and Shannon-san. Off to the side was Genji-san. Uncle Cross and Hatsuhi were welcoming the guest. Goda-san immediately started showing off, and Kennen-kan was unsociable, wearing his usual blank expression. There was Dad and Kari-san, and Aunt Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi, and Rosa and Mariah, and Dr. Nanjo. Then on either side of me were George, Anaki, and Jessica, and this is everyone, the true number of people on the island at the moment. Well, all of us are Ushiramiya is pleased to and feel obligated to call us by our family name. I'm George, and I'm Battler. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much, George-san, Battler-san. I'd please if you call me Erica. Nice to meet you, Erica-san. It was decided that Erica would be welcomed like a guest, and allowed to borrow the bedroom next to the cousin's room. On the second floor of the guest house, in front of all the relatives, she seemed dignified and a bit stiff. However, as she talked with George and Jessica, her expression began to soften gradually, and so the detective Furuto Erica was placed on the game board. Huh. Interesting. Whew, okay, guys, it's going to be time to take another break here for me. Here in a second. Okay, break time. Okay. I'm surprised Jessica's old clothes suit her so well. Kumasawa made a decision on her own to use the lady's clothes. Please forgive her. The clothes Erica wore were Jessica's old formal attire. Though the guest possessed a dignity that would put most adults to shame, her body was still physically similar to a middle schooler's. Jessica's old clothes fit her perfectly. Not to worry, they match this guest perfectly. If she likes them, we might even let her keep them as a sign of friendship. Certainly. Thank you very much. Have you contacted the police at her family? Yes, they seem to have been quite distressed. By the way, our guest really was involved in an accident, right? She herself said she fell on a boat as she was returning to the port. Is there anything to back up that claim? I checked with the Coast Guard. It seems she fell from the rear of a pleasure boat unnoticed by the others on board. We don't know the exact location she fell from, most probably somewhere near this island. It was foolish to play on a boat with such a bad weather forecast. However, it is really conceivable that she nearly drowned in the nearby waters and drifted to this island. It's impossible. Tales of drifters washing ashore exist in several of the islands around this area. I believe it is likely that an accident occurred. We are in the middle of a typhoon. Would that be possible to land a boat anywhere on this island? Genji had already considered what she now suspected. Now she probably suspected that this mysterious guest who had arrived during the already high-stress family conference might be the agent of some conspiracy. So Genji had already checked to make sure that the accident was real and Furudo Erika was their real name, and not where there's nothing suspicious going on. I understand. My husband has ordered that she be politely entertained. Make sure there are no blunders. However, you do understand, don't you? Yes, I won't let her anywhere near the family conference. After dinner, I will see that she retires to the guest house. Make sure they don't start trying to force us to let her meet father or anything like that. Of course, I will keep that in mind. Who, Furudo Erika, was it? It's rare for a guest to come here to Rokinjima. Does this look like it'll be interesting? She's probably Lady Burkestill's piece. Though she will follow the rules of humans, the player is a witch. We must underestimate her. There is no problem, even if she were Lady Burkestill herself. She's a human, she's no match for us. After all, we have Gap with us. Humans certainly cannot win against Gap. Thanks. Still, it's not a good idea to overestimate yourself. The definition of a witch doesn't only imply the ability to use magic. True. A joker in the eye of a typhoon, is what a witch is. I'm the only one who gets to call herself a witch on this Rokinjima. Only I, the Golden Witch, and the Endless Witch Beatrice. Let's see how good Lady Burkestill speaks after inches. I intend to watch very closely. Whew. Enter? Okay, there we go. Erika's seat was the lowest one in rank. In other words, it was at the inferior end of the table. His seat as the highest end of the table was empty. If you spun the whole thing around, it sort of looked like Erika was the host of this dinner. Well then, having won, I would like to begin tonight's dinner, if I may. After Goda's announcement, dinner began with the applause that had become almost customary. It was following up the beginning of the dinner orchestra constructed by Toshiro Goda. Except for across his household, sitting at such a majestic dinner table was no everyday thing for these people by any means. However, they were all used to this event and acted as though it was completely normal. Once again, if anyone was to be surprised, it should be Erika, and yet she has no sign of amazement at this dinner and acted with the composure, blending in with everyone else. There was even a silver of fear one might expect from someone who had wandered here like a lost puppy. What an odd child. She doesn't seem the least bit flustered by Ushiramiya family's grandest dinner of the year. Kids these days have the nerves of steel. Definitely not something I dislike. Is Furudo-san used to meals such as this one? She seems to be quite composed. No kidding, she looks really experienced. Heck, I still get confused about which fork I'm supposed to use next. What is this one or this one? Without showing any confusion over the line of utensils in front of her, Erika gracefully ate her horse divorce. Hideyoshi had started joking around with her, gripping a fork in each hand. Of course, the president of a company in the food service industry like Hideyoshi obviously knew his table manners. However, thinking that Erika was being nervous over this dinner, he had intentionally spoken with a comic tone of voice. You just had us to start on the outside and work your way in. If that's a pain, then just ask for some chopsticks. If you're Japanese, you've got to love chopsticks. Chopsticks are so great, just one pair of those and you can deal with any kind of food. As soon as she began talking about chopsticks, her eyes started glittering. The smile she now showed for the first time was far different from the dignity she displayed before. More like something you expect from someone her age. But even you would just use a spoon for currying rice, wouldn't you? Just look at a Donberry bowl. Is there anyone who eats beef bowls with a spoon? Of course not. For the Japanese, it's absolutely positively totally chopsticks. So Goda-san, would you mind bringing me some chopsticks? I want to show everyone how a true Japanese person should eat without any shame. By the way, what are we eating next? Unfortunately, that would be soup. She imitated a shruggy gesture. Erika winked at everyone. Of course, no one was laughing at her. She obviously knew that soup came after horse divorce with a full-course meal. Furthermore, Erika noticed both that she'd been performing too perfectly, creating a sense of tension, and that Hideyoshi tried to break the ice because he thought she was nervous. That's why she started acting a little childish and lighthearted, acting out the part of a guest enjoying our harmless dinner. Pretty soon, not only Kari but anyone else caught on. Although she was an uninvited guest, she was apparently worthy of participating in an Ushiramiya family dinner. Smart kid. Did she really just come here by coincidence? Don't tell me you secretly called your illegitimate child to today's family conference, Nissan. It seems she even has the smarts to brighten the mood, and her manners are simply wonderful. It wouldn't be bad at all to have this girl as a daughter. Hee hee hee, that's pretty cruel. Where does that leave Jessica-chan? Hee hee, that's mean, Rudolph Nissan. What's wrong, Jessica-chan? Headache? Ooh, I get the feeling my reputation is taking a dive. Well, if you're a daughter of the head family, you better not let her beat you. Try using unstable manners and a dignity and so you're always joining you with a fight back. I wanna see table manners. Ooh. Hey, jumping around us bad manners. Come on, Jessica-chan, show us how it's done. Sure, of course. Jessica straightened up so much it looked like someone had poked her back with a pole. She had a good posture but somehow lacked elegance. She looked kind of like a triangle ruler. She sat at attention with her gaze fixed straight ahead, tried to bring her food to her mouth. Despite this, and failed miserably. Dad, who was sitting next to her, suddenly realized that something was up. What's wrong, Jessica-chan? Stomach ache? Jessica turned bright red. Sorry, I can't help myself. We laughed our heads off, but Jessica protested, still bright red, and that's who he scolded us for being too improper. Well, no matter how much we tried to smooth it over, we are who we are. We couldn't pretend any longer. So that laugh really did help us to relax. We were so concerned about the guests getting nervous that we got even more nervous ourselves. Our chatter from the center of this long table spread to both ends, and ultimately dinner went even more smoothly than usual. With some delicious cheese and coffee, our peaceful meal came to an end. Go won unanimous acclaim and was praised for his skill by all present. After a short period of harmony following the meal, it was decided that we would return to the guest house. Normally, dinner tended to have a very dark atmosphere about it, and the adults would often keep that mood as they moved straight on to the family conference. However, perhaps because this year's dinner had been oddly peaceful, everyone decided to take a break, the adults included. After eating, taking a bath, and relaxing while watching TV, I wonder if they'll gather again in the mansion with all this rain and resume the high-tension family conference of theirs. I'd rather not think about it. Apparently, Aunt Eva was getting really worked up, trying to convince the rest to start the family conference right away, but it didn't look like many people agreed with her. They would probably call it quits for the night. Since they had guest house duty, Goda-san and Kumasawa-san were chosen to guide us to the guest house. It's gotta be tough for Goda-san. Even after making and cleaning up such a extravagant dinner, he also had the late night shift at the guest house. I heard that Kumasawa-san, old as she was, would be going to sleep soon. It seems she was assigned a spare room. Allow me to guide everyone to the guest house. Erica, some of my room has also been prepared for you. Thank you very much. Why not rest a bit? Are you sure you feel okay? That's right. I totally forgot about you nearly drowned and floated here, didn't you, Erica-chan? You're probably better off taking it easy and getting to bed early tonight. I'm perfectly fine. On the contrary, I'm so nervous and excited that I thought I could get any sleep. Ew. Then let's play. I'll play together. Let's play cards. Mariah latched on her, giggling. This lack of restraint, peculiar to youth, was very much like Mariah. However, we really should be concerned for Erica's physical condition now. Maria, why don't you play cards with us? Erica Oni-chan is tired. I like cards too. Please let me join you after I've had a short break. Ooh, alright. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take another small break here. Ooh. Okay, here we go. Who is that? As she passed through the lobby, the entrance saw Erica stopped walking. And when we saw what she was looking at, the rest of us also stopped. Oh, that is the Golden Witch Beatrice-sama. The Golden Witch. What are you doing, brats? Go on ahead back to the guest house. Dad, Kari-san, and Eva, Uncle Hideyoshi, and Aunt Rosa all came over. The entire guest house party had gathered. However, Erica's gaze was captured by the portrait of the witch, and she simply stared at it for a while. Ooh, really tired. Yeah, supposedly Dad has a stash of hidden gold worth 20 billion yen, and his epitaph shows you where that gold's hidden. Perhaps it was too early for them to all disperse into the individual rooms because the relatives who had returned to the guest house all gathered on the first floor, continuing their chat. The topic was the witch's epitaph, which Erica had taken an interest in. It really is a fascinating riddle. He stuck it out in a place where anyone could see it, challenging our intelligence. I love that kind of challenge. Whoa, you seem surprisingly interested, Erica-chan. Do you like solving riddles or something? Don't challenges like this seem interesting? It seems pretty clear that Kenzo-san wants to use that epitaph to choose its successor. When she said that, the adults stopped moving, and slowly turned to face Erica. Why do you think that? And Eva spoke with a coaxing voice, though every now and then there had been whisperings among relatives that whoever solved the epitaph's riddle might be given the family inheritance. This had been no more than wishful thinking, since such a thing had never been specifically stated. And yet, though she had only read it once, this outsider had already reached that conclusion. How she come to it? No, that's not the problem. If you solve the epitaph, you become the next head. She wasn't trying to make it sound like wishful thinking, but an outright fact. So they closed in around Erica while she was still why she was so sure. It's fairly common for an extremely rich person to relinquish his or her wealth with a solver or some sort of riddle. Furthermore, Kinzel-san didn't publish his epitaph in a newspaper, but displayed it in his mansion. That means the riddle is directed at the people in this mansion. You're right. Since it's inside the mansion, there's no way for someone who can't enter the mansion to solve it. So that man's grandfather's been challenging the people here. Good. Well thought. Just by the simple fact that the epitaph's inside the mansion, it is possible to figure that much. Oh man, that's some good apple juice. Whew. At first, this Furuto Erica girl seemed to be the fairly silent type, but that apparently wasn't the case. As she grew excited by a challenge to a game of wits, she became more and more talkative, much more talkative rather, than I ever imagined. I see. Well, it does make sense that an epitaph inside a mansion would be there so people on the mansion could read it. But could you really be so sure that the one who solves it will be given headship too? If that treasure game might solve the riddle worse than small, I wouldn't have even considered that. That's right. The hidden gold is worth 20 billion. You may consider that gold itself to be the wealth of the Ushimiya family. Inheriting something like that would all be almost the same as inheriting the Ushimiya family itself. In other words, this riddle of the gold's hiding place buried with the epitaph is nothing less than a way of selecting the de facto successor of the Ushimiya family. The idea that the one who solved the epitaph would be chosen as a successor had been passed around my sort of relatives for a while now. However, since I had never been specifically announced, it was something more than an optimistic dream. Thinking this, it decided to abandon all consideration at this point until the details were made clear. Erica had clearly declared that this uncertain point was in fact true. If one of the relatives had said it, people would have thought it was merely an optimistic dream. However, when this was declared by a complete outsider, those words seemed even more credible. Everyone remained silent for a while, slowly considering what those words implied. Simply by the existence of the epitaph in that place, this level of reasoning is possible for Furuto Erica. What do you think, everyone? Sorry to butt in, but my dad's the successor. Finding the gold will be the one thing, but that doesn't mean you get to be the head, right? Jessica thought the treasure hunting part of the epitaph was really fun. However, she couldn't help but let her expression grow bitter once they started talking about their undermining her father's position. By using deductive reasoning based upon my theory, it seems likely that Kizo's son doesn't want the successor across on to inherit that position too smoothly. Well, why is that? Becoming the head of the Ushimiya family with all the vast wealth entails would mean gaining a great deal of influence in a political sense. So under normal circumstances, a succession should be overseen rigorously without letting any element of chance creep into the equation. That's right, it happens a lot in those stories about Sengoku military commanders that my husband loves. When there are multiple candidates for the successor, it usually results in an internal squabble. That's right. That's why it's important to clearly specify a successor, so you can avoid any trouble. Sometimes there's even a purge of all the competing successors. The Sengoku commander Hideyoshi admired Toyotomi Hideyoshi made his son-in-law Hidesugu seppuku, but it was rumored seppuku, I don't remember how it's pronounced properly, my bad. That might have done this to Hideyori, who was his real son and born after Hidesugu, his true heir. In other words, naming a successor was a way to make it generally known that a single unique person will be acknowledged by everyone in a way to remove any chance of another person becoming an opposing candidate. Good, that's exactly right. The only purpose for an epitaph like that would be to cast a doubt on Cross-san's position as a successor. In other words, if Kenzo-san wanted Cross-san to become the head smoothly, he would have no reason to go out of his way and display something so dangerous for all to see. That's right, if he spun the chessboard around, he certainly could say that. It would be an odd if he handed over the position of the head normally, but only handed it over the 20 billion yen in gold to the person who solves the riddle. Ginzo would pass on the title of the family head, but would only give up the 20 billion yen in gold to the person who solved the epitaph. You really couldn't call this passing on the headship in truest sense. That's how it is. By this theory, we were able to doubt whether Kenzo's son truly acknowledged Cross-Sun as his successor, simply by the existence of the epitaph in that place. This level of reasoning is possible for Furuta Urika. What do you think, Jessica-san? What the hell? How do you call that reasoning? That's bullshit. It's screwed up. Jessica let her emotions lay bare and glared at Erica. Erica, on the other hand, looked exceedingly calm with an expression that said, well, that's just the truth, right? I see. It looks like the table of manners aren't the only way this girl's fitting for the Ushimura family. It seems she really doesn't match the family, even though she'd be better if she didn't. Okay, take it easy, Jessica. And Erica, let's leave it at that for now. Well, we put some stuff to the side for now anyway. There's no doubt that this father's a big question for us. Well, haha, it's 20 billion yen, Mariah-chan. What do you use for that? What would you use it for if you found it? Well, ha 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 ha. Ooh, the golden line isn't just gold. It's a sacred place. Uncle Yoshi kept trying to force himself to chuckle and improve the mood. Everyone else tried to play along, but Jessica's mood didn't get any better. Haha, so Erica-chan, would you like to have a go at the epitaph's riddle? Yes, my little gray cells are itchy to get started. I'd like to start solving as soon as possible. George Energy smoothly turned the conversation around. Just like the time she made one laugh in the dining hall, Erica looked about with gleeful eyes and jumped at the chance. Hehehe, I like it. Well, since Erica seems so interested, let's all try and solve it together, just like last year. I'll make some coffee. Raise your hand if you want some. Not for you, Mariah. You won't be able to sleep. Ooh, I want to drink black coffee. Don't they get you excited riddles like this? I love them. Erica said that and smiled. Though she must have known that she'd tick Jessica off and made the atmosphere sour, she just smiled nonchalantly. See, without even waiting for the crime on October 5th, there's a riddle you can solve. I've tried to solve it so many times, but you didn't have a clue, so you gave up and stopped thinking, right? It pissed me off, but I don't have a good counter for that. After all, I didn't get the epitaph at all. I don't even know what the beloved hometown means, much less the parts with the Sweetfish River and the key. Thinking that a few more hints would show up if I waited. I kept on waiting and just stopped thinking. Have you figured out an answer on your own? Because I'm about to solve it. What? This is where Byrne solved the riddle of the epitaph. I expect no less than much of miracles. If a riddle is solvable, then she could solve it without fail, regardless of the difficulty. How many years did it take to solve this one? That's rude. I only fished through a few hundred fragments. Hehehe. You really are terrifying. You aren't going to cheat by suddenly saying an answer in red or something like that, right? Don't worry. Just like you, I follow the rules as a player. Well, shall we begin? It's crumpled in here. It's cramped in here. Why don't we talk over the sea? Okay, don't get queasy, Battler. What do you mean, the sea? Oh, no. I thought the whole world just turned pitch black at that moment. I was struck by a strange floating sensation. This must be what it feels like to suddenly have the floor drop from under you, sending you into a bottomless pit. When I looked, I saw that the two witches and I had been thrown into a pitch black universe. In this space, every direction was covered in endless darkness, and it felt like a limitless expanse, filled with countless glittering objects. Some people might have likened into the depths of the ocean where innumerable sparkling fragments drifted. Whoa. Nope. I think I want to sneeze. Okay, since I had to stop to sneeze, I took a break for like 30 seconds to catch my breath again. Whoa. What did she tell you not to get so queasy? If you want the concept of gravity, just create it yourself, okay? Come on, calm down, look at us. Come on, don't we look like we're just fine? Believe that your feet are on the ground and that you're being controlled by gravity. And if you do that, you'll find your equilibrium. Yes, the two witches are standing normally as if their feet are placed on a transparent piece of glass. I'm the only one floating about like someone in a rapidly plummeting elevator. When I saw that they were doing just fine, I started calming down and figuring that there was no need to be scared. Well, then, just as the Delta said, I gritted my teeth and kept telling myself that there was a place to stand here, and I had to stay calm. Whoa, very good, very good. What's your name? Ushimura Battler. Who else do I look like? Okay, you mustn't lose your will, emotions, or form. After all, this is the ocean. If you lose your purpose, you'll fall into the depths of eternity and become a scrap of ocean seaweed. Be careful. I don't get what the Delta's saying, but I should calm down for the time being. It seems I regain my equilibrium the more I calm down. Gradually, that weird floating feeling like I was falling forever began to disappear. It still felt strange, like I was trying to stand up straight at the bottom of the deep pool, but it was much better than before. Then let's begin. I will leave together some fragments for solving the riddle of the epitaph. Birkenstow opened both of her hands, then like a planetarium, all of the fragments throughout this empty space began to spin, leaving tails behind them. The expression planetarium might have been surprisingly fitting. Multiple fragments were tied together by gold lines, and what looked like constellations zoomed by us, rapidly one after another. It felt almost as though we were dashing through space at incredible speed. Then, with tails of light drifting behind them, several brightly glowing fragments whirled around Birkenstow. It looked almost as though she created her own solar system with her as the sun. That solar system surrounding Birkenstow grew to a radius large enough to swallow us up. And every once in a while, with one of those satellite fragments zoomed right past me. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on here. Previous games, it looks like. When those fragments passed by me, it felt as though some kind of memory welled up inside me, so I sensed it. These fragments are probably like a crystallization of memories. They are memories. They're fragments of worlds. Well, I guess they might feel like memories to you. Then let's begin. Let's start with this fragment. One of the satellites of the solar system was slowly sucked into an inward trajectory with Birkenstow at the center. After drawing a spiral and approaching her, it settled down on the palm of Birkenstow's outstretched hand. Then it glittered brightly, panting over the world with pure white. The beloved hometown definitely won't betray our expectations. The loving past father held dear happened during his childhood years. I remember that. This was from the third game when Aunt Eva was just about to solve the riddle of the epitaph and was taking it over with this witch inside her or whatever. That's right, and from these stars she made her way to the correct answer. In other words, this fragment shows a vital hint for reaching the truth. It means that this theory is not mistaken. So you're saying we should assume this beloved hometown isn't a metaphor or anything like that, but the place grandfather actually spent his youth. That's right, and at the very least it is in Odawara. Odawara is definitely where he was born, but I don't think that's the hometown he loved. I imagine all of us siblings have the same place in mind. Right, this is probably isn't Odawara. From what I've heard, he had a very fun time as a youth. That's right, Eva and her silly said it was at Odawara, and not only that, it looks like everyone guessed what grandfather's hometown was. Right, and annoyingly the actual location isn't spoken of in any of the fragments. Well, duh, if I told you that, there'd be too many hints. If it was a hard riddle, there'd be no point to it. Uh-oh, that's a hint too. Just, where's this hometown of grandfather's? We can't even start if we don't know that. You mean you couldn't start, so you stopped thinking, since it had to be a place where he could have lived? That number of possibilities is limited. Well, this is the toughest part. You were the witch who would certainly solve any riddle that could be solved, weren't you? So you took those limited possibilities. In other words, everywhere on the earth is considered every single piece of land that grandfather might have lived on. That will work too, but that way there's no amount of time will be enough, so I need to take some more hints into consideration to ring out the answer. Didn't you say it yourself? You said you didn't have to be a river with water flowing down it. If the world's sweet fish is too complicated, why not forget it? Think of a river. Linking it with family tree wasn't a bad idea. Try thinking about how to link a river to the else along those lines. A sweetfish river running through the hometown. However, this river isn't truly a river. Eva thought of it as something else that could be linked with the river. Sure, but if it's not a river, then why the sweetfish? Think, a river that runs through the hometown, but isn't a river with water running down it. Something like that can be likened to a river. Behold, the Sweetfish River running through the beloved hometown. Eva knew where the hometown was, so she'd forget about the Sweetfish head. However, since we don't know where it is, this could be a hint for us. I worried too much about the Sweetfish River. The Sweetfish part didn't really matter that much at all, did it? That isn't true. It was an excellent hint, wasn't it? Well, of course, maybe there wasn't a need for it to be Sweetfish. Well, the Sweetfish, if the river is a literal river, then of course Sweetfish probably doesn't mean the kind of fish that swims. Yeah, and on top of that, Rosa tossed it aside saying that Sweetfish weren't that significant. On the other hand, Eva said it was important to them be Sweetfish, but it's still an excellent hit. In other words, the Sweetfish is a key to make you think of something else. If that something has a different word for the word that Sweetfish makes you think of, then Eva's line about how it probably didn't have to be Sweetfish makes sense. For these thoughts, Eva formed some theory, went to the library, looked through some words, and verified that she was right. In short, Eva formed some theory about the true nature of the Sweetfish River running through her hometown. Then she opened a certain book to determine whether the theory was correct or not. In other words, this theory was something that could be verified through some kind of book. Although after she figured out what the Sweetfish River was, she figured out the rest of the riddle very quickly. Good thinking. The epitaph continues on saying as you travel down the river, you will see a village, and at the point in time, Eva hadn't yet solved the 3 lines, starting with this one. What is this village? What does it mean? Do you find one if you go down the river? Right before my eyes, the piece I hadn't been able to understand at all began to snap into place all by themselves. I couldn't even remember to close my open mouth. My throat grew completely dry. Is it really okay for this to be answer? Really? So, if we figure out what the Sweetfish River runs to the hometown is, that leads us directly to understanding as you travel down the river, you will see a village stuff, and then we get to the key to the Golden Land. Correct, and we know that because even Eva didn't know what the village meant until she checked the book. Damn it. Just what is this book? But this isn't 6 characters at all. I'm absolutely sure this is the answer. But does it reach 6 characters at all? Did you stop thinking again? In that case, think of a way you could read it with 6 characters. If you can't think of one, then research it. There has to be an answer. You must not doubt that. Oh, this is believing in that too much for you. If only you could just cry yourself to sleep and just give up and die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 6 characters. I found it. This is the key to the Golden Land. Then Eva found the key to the Golden Land. Yeah. And this key was some kind of word number, a string of characters, 6 characters long. That's it. If we know the key's true identity at 6 characters, that means that the first twilight changes drastically. On the first twilight, after the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices, the 6 chosen by the key, 6 characters. In other words, it means sacrifice the 6 characters chosen by the key in the first twilight. This key indicates a certain group of 6 people. No way we should say indicates a certain group of 6 things. If this doesn't mean a literal command to offer sacrifices. For example, it could be an anagram. An anagram, do you mean playing with letters? Yes, Carson must be thinking that ever since that moment. On the second twilight, there are those who remain, which means at the very least that something has a limited number of characters. You could read it like it's telling you to continue with the remaining characters after the 6 characters are removed. In other words, on the first twilight, we take a list of characters that's no longer than 6. Kill the 6 that are the key, and then do something with the characters that remain. That's right, but like Carrie said, what should we kill the characters from? We don't know this longer than the string of characters that we're supposed to be killing from. On the first twilight, kill the 6 characters that are the key. On the first twilight. In other words, by the time we reach the first twilight, some string of characters already exist. That might be a set of Japanese characters, but knowing grandfather's taste, it could be something in English. The first twilight has one of the 6 characters, even though the Japanese phrase has just 4. Whew. Okay, guys, I need to take another breather real quick. Okay, I'm caught up good enough. Good. The idea of yours is a bad battle-son. We can interpret the 6 characters chosen by the key as a string of 6 characters. I think a very clever concept. That way, the key doesn't necessarily have to be key-shaped. I have also considered the possibility that's an anagram. Come to think of it, you did see something like that before, but in that case, where do you take the 6 characters out from? That's right, since we're taking 6 characters out, it must be at least 6 characters long. We need to read in whatever that word is in Japanese in some way that gives it one of the 6 characters. If we follow other sensibilities, I guess it probably is English after all. If that looks like we're getting stuck, why don't we move on to the second twilight and look for hints? Those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. We can probably think of those two who remain as their main characters as the first six I've been thinking out. In that case, what does that mean by two characters that are close? I see, I guess so that's what it's about. For example, let's take the following list of 9 characters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then let's say the 6 characters offered as sacrifices are 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 9. In this case, we erase the aforementioned 6 characters from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and get X2, X4, 5, XXXX. So 2, 4, and 5 are left. So what? Oh, 4, 5 are close. Yeah, I get it. So the two who are close are 2, X2, X4, 5, XXXX. Yep, there's a gap between 2 and 4, but 4 and 5 are right next to each other. They're the two who are close. Good. Well done, Battler-san. We can't tell whether to tear apart means to crush 4 and 5 or to put a gap between them, but I think it's a good observation. Then what do you think of the third Twilight? Those who remain shall praise my noble name. Since there is a good chance that we're playing with letters, this might be the same thing. The characters that remain shall praise my noble name. That's tough. What could it mean? Does anyone know? I think I do. Huh? What does it tell me? Is this also an anagram? Once again, good. Battler-san here, pretty flexible thinker. But anagram, do you mean playing with letters, right? That means... In other words, maybe you can make some kind of word by changing the order of the remaining letters. Yeah, if so, I might be getting ahead of myself with this theory. But maybe the original list of characters that the first one is removed from is 11 characters long. Well done again. I reached the same conclusion. Well, why is that? Why do you think that there are 11 characters? We think killing a single sacrifice means crushing a single character. If we interpret the tear apart of the second Twilight to mean adding a gap between 2 characters, then there are 11 characters total. If tear apart means to crush 2 those characters, then we can assume there are 13 characters. After all, from the 4th Twilight to the 8th Twilight, the word kill appears 5 times. And then on the 9th Twilight, it's written that none will be left alive. If we ignore the part about the witch reviving for now, I figure that after crushing the first 6 separating the characters that are close and then crushing 5 more of them, there should be no characters left, so that makes 6 plus 5 or 11 characters. If tearing apart the 2 who are close to the second Twilight means to kill both of them, they make 6 plus 2 plus 5 or 13 characters. There's a chance that the word symbolized in the first Twilight as 11 or 13 characters. But it couldn't be that easy, could it? Wonderfully done. That's the exact same theory I thought of. It looks like you were gifted with the sex telling little gray cells just like mine, Battler-san. Hey, quit it. Just doing what comes naturally. Damn. Hey, what the hell? The piece that's me. The piece of me's pretty damn smart. There's no room left for me to make theories. Oh, sorry about that. You weren't around at this point, so I just controlled your piece for you. Isn't it nice how smart I made you look? Hee hee hee. You look smarter when Burnt's playing you. Why not step on as the player and concentrate on being the piece instead? I joined in on this game partway through, well, after the first murders occurred in the 5th. That means the piece called me was controlled by the player Birkenstow, so I guess that means it's possible for Birkenstow's reasoning to be announced through my mouth. The game I'm watching now is something more than a replay of a part that's already ended. However, that's probably good enough for now. After all this Birkenstow-sama's going to have a way to solve the epitaph for me. I'll watch closely for now, and I'll probably find out what it means. Linda Delta let us slip herself just a second ago. Well, duh. If I told you that, there'd be too many hints. If it wasn't a hard riddle, there'd be no point to it. Uh-oh, that's a hint, too. Hee hee. Hiccups. Whoops. This theory about grandfathers creating the epitaph in order to choose a successor isn't bad at all. Erica and Birkensaw's logic is extremely reasonable, but that's only if we assume grandfather was the one to create it. He was probably alive at the time the epitaph was displayed, but of course grandfather was already dead by 1986, and in the games up until now, Beatrice threatened us repeatedly with letters saying the only way to survive was to solve the epitaph, and trying to force us to solve the riddle. In other words, it was Beatrice's intention, her hope, that we would try solving the riddle of the epitaph. The epitaph's so confusing that in most cases, their relatives never seriously tried solving it until the threatening letters started to arrive. That's why Beatrice fired the starting pistol that made us take a go at it. Why is Beatrice carrying out grandfather's will after his death? Like the theory proposed in the first game, is Beatrice really grandfather's confidant who's following his orders even after death and trying to select his successor with the riddle of the epitaph and grandfather's dead? If she did that, it would mean Beatrice really was Kendall's trusted underling. The family alchemist she claimed to be in that letter. After grandfather's death, Beatrice managed to obtain tons of gold and took the title of alchemist. She was entrusted with the epitaph's riddle, and without ever embezzling the gold, she waited for a human fitting to be the successor to appear and solve it. And if the human didn't appear within a set time limit, would that be game over? Certainly Aunt Eva, who solved the riddle in the third game, became the only survivor and automatically the final head of this Jeremiah family, inheriting everything. Up until now, no one has ever survived past October 5th except Aunt Eva, the one who solved the epitaph. That was the only case where Beatrice let anyone survive. It was Beatrice's loyalty to grandfather the thing that drove her. Was she so loyal that she faithfully carried out some terrible order to kill everyone if the epitaph wasn't solved? I must have stopped thinking. Don't stop thinking. Don't just stop. Just don't think of the riddle itself. Think about why it's significant. Why is Beatrice telling us to solve the epitaph? Why is she making us solve such a confusing epitaph? If Beatrice makes us try and solve this epitaph, we have no real chance of solving. Why, and by some lucky chance a miracle occurs and someone is able to solve it, what significance would it have to her? I don't know what such a miracle would be worth to Beato. Okay, another quick breather, real quick. Okay, that's nice. Anyway, until we figure out the first Twilight Well to give up on the rest. We tried looking at it from several different angles, but in the end, we got stuck there and made no further advances. Marla, an extra large yawn. This caused several other people to yawn. We'd be better than using our heads so much that everyone had gotten a little sleepy. Just could have been silent and irritated the whole time. Quickly stood up. I'm going upstairs with Mariah. We'll watch TV or something. Okay, I'll go up too. Hey, when we all play cards upstairs. When George proposed this word, I completely forgot about that big yawn of hers. It started jumping around, insisting that she wanted to play cards. Cards. Okay. According to the clock, it was already 10 o'clock at night. It was already by the time you normally take a bath and get ready for sleep. But even the adults seemed pretty worried from traveling. We decided to continue this later and went our separate ways. Will you play cards with us too, Erica Chen? I appreciate the sentiment. I overstepped my bounds a little, forgetting that I'm a simple guest. I'd like to take it easy and rest for the night. I almost forgot I was recently in an accident. Seriously, you're in such high spirits, it's hard to believe you almost drowned. That's youth for you. Still, I enjoyed it. Think we've taken a big step in our reasoning thanks to you. If I find the gold, I'll let you have about 1,000,000 yen worth. Ha 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 ha. Can't you at least offer the poor girl 100 million? Ha 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 ha. No need to bother. I'm only interested in solving the riddle. Well then, if you'll excuse me, good night. Yeah, night. You aren't going upstairs, Battler-kun? I'm getting a bit interested. I'll think things through here just a little bit longer. If I could just figure out the list of the characters that marked the first Twilight up at the row before me, we'll open up all at once. Everyone went up to the second floor one by one. Only Aunt Rosa remained behind cleaning up the coffee cups everyone had been drinking out of. Carrie's son and others had offered to help, but Rosa had refused and was watching them all alone. Since I'd just been introduced to such delicious coffee, I decided to help too. I wasn't doing this because I felt obligated. I wanted to keep discussing the epitaph with someone. The first Twilight. Aunt Rosa, have you thought of some characters, lists, or words? No, I don't have a clue, but instead of the first Twilight, it's the 10th Twilight that bugs me. The 10th Twilight, what about it? Well, at the end there, it says Joey received the Golden Land's 4 treasures once and for the last time, right? Yeah, it does. Well, I mentioned that you're reaching the Golden Land just once and I say it's for the last time. It's almost as though he's repeating the same thing twice. I've just been wondering whether he has some reason for praying like that. You're right. Like you said, there's got to be a more straightforward way of saying that. That line should have been a key part of the riddle where you wouldn't expect the writer to waste words needlessly. Could have been for some special purpose. Still, you and the Erica Chen girl are incredible. Your minds really are flexible. I'm already an old lady and my brain just doesn't work that fast. That theory about the 6 shows that mother's key significant 6 characters to be removed was very impressive. After hearing that, I can't see as bashing being any other way, not bashing. But before then, I didn't think it was like that at all. I'm feeling that down by my own dull mind. That's not true. You've got a flexible mind yourself, Aunt Rosa. This last time might be really important somewhere down the line. Not at all. My mind's very stiff. Up until now, I've always thought this was first Twilight as nothing more than a place 1/10 of the way on the road to Golden Land. What's that? Sounds interesting. Mind telling me about it? After all, in the line before the first twilight, it says you must travel to the Golden Land, right? The next part describes the journey of that last 10 days, so I thought the first twilight would be part of the way through that journey. A journey, I see. Then the journey begins when you set up the camp at the first twilight. You offer the six of sacrifices. So where would that place be? How many kilometers from the starting point? Please don't tell anyone any silly ideas, okay? When I first saw that part attaining to the treasures of the Golden Land, I just assumed it was more of the same. Typically, attaining treasures would mean obtaining them. But I thought it was reaching or arriving at someplace 10 days away from Father's hometown where all these treasures might be found. Are you kidding? That's a brilliant idea. And the first twilight is the first stop on the 10-day journey, and the name of that place will be the key to moving forward. From my 10-day theory to work, you'd have to know both the start point and the end point. I know the start point. I know the hometown Father left. The place Father spent his time when he was a boy really is far away. But the problem is the goal, the Golden Land. What does that really mean? If we don't know that, my theory gets us nowhere. I've been stuck at this spot for a long time, but after listening to your reasoning today, I've realized what an embarrassing mistake I made in making. No, I think it's still an interesting idea. Oh, I start in a goal and 10-day journey, and the place reached at the very first twilight. Believe it or not, I think you might solve this one easily, Batluka, and if you do solve it with your aunt's hint, share some with me, even if 5% would be great. It's a promise. Despite my aunt, she gave me a smile and a wink, which made man's heart jump. As I helped her wash the coffee cups, I kept pondering the F-Top's riddle of silence. After I finished helping Rose, I passed through the corridor on the way to the bedroom. Bathroom. Not bedroom, bathroom. And I saw Erica unlocking the door to my room on my path. I thought your room was on the second floor. I figured you'd gone upstairs and had fallen asleep by now. I was searching for something. I thought it might be here. Searching for something? Erica unlocked the door and opened it. A dusty smell drifted out. It was the library. For a library, the gap between bookshelves were extremely small. This was obviously built for storing books, not reading them. So it's a book you're searching for. Not necessarily a book, but materials, I guess you could say. There's a lot I just got to look up. You're looking for something to do with the F-Test riddle. Pretty impressive that you haven't given up yet. Is the 20 billion yen that enticing? I ain't given up either. Apparently being stubborn is something we both share. Of course, I'm only interested in solving puzzles. I searched for the gold only to prove my reasoning correct. Even if I found it, I wouldn't pocket it for myself, so I have no fears on that score. She immediately cast my combined side, saying that she just likes solving riddles and had no interest at all in the gold. If she was pretty weird from the start, it looks like the impression was spot on. Erica slowly circled the bookshelf, searching for the book she was after. I'm also trying to solve the epitaph right now. Oh yeah, just a second ago I heard something interesting from Auntie Rosa, which might give us a hint about the first twilight. Let me hear it. Erica asked with this without stopping her search or even turning to face me. In the line before the first twilight, it says that one who obtains the key must do so, and so the one who obtains the key must then travel to the Golden Land in accordance with these rules. Well, you've already got it memorized. Guess it shouldn't be surprised. And what about that? Yeah, you've got travel to the Golden Land, right? Apparently this has made Aunt Rosa think about the 10th twilight. In other words, going on a 10-day journey from the beloved homeland to the Golden Land. Actually, I've already noticed that myself. You start from the place reached on the first day of the 10-day journey. That's where you take the sacrifices from. Yeah, that's what University thought of too. I think the theory's pretty intriguing. We're looking for the place you'd reach on the first day of a 10-day journey. That bit of land or else the name of the region might be a key. I also guess the place's name might be a key. That's why I'm looking for materials. I want to turn my guess into certainty. Just what are you looking for? Then Erica's hand suddenly stopped as she slowly pulled it out. As she dusted it off, she finally looked at me and spoke. It's an atlas. Ooh, okay, guys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be done recording for the night. You know, maybe next time I can go longer. Maybe I don't know how long I've been recording for, honestly, because all the breaks I took. But yeah, hopefully next time, maybe if I cut out all this fast food and stuff, maybe my breathing will get a little bit better, and I can talk longer and make longer videos, because this is going to be a really long series, and I don't want it to make a bunch of really short videos. I want to keep on. It's an interesting story, I want to keep on going. So for now, guys, I'm in this video here, and if you're still here watching, I want to thank you guys for doing so, and I will see you guys next time.